Hey guys, I am Parvam.
I'm Archie.
And today we are going to watch that an Iran leader is running away. This is a very big news for us to hear because we have seen that Iran leader never leaves Iran and he is the one who is controlling and he is the one who is very strict about his policies and he never bows down to USA. But I think so this is the time because there is internal pressure and there is external pressure from USA. So we have to see like what happened. So let's watch this.
Wait here.
Oh, violent protest. So people in Iran are protesting
Okay.
against the government. And it is turning violent.
Ayatollah Khamenei has gone into hiding. The move comes after senior officials from Iran's Ministry of Health leaked the one figure that Ayatollah did not want the world to see.
Oh.
More than 30,000 dead in single two-day crackdown.
30,000 dead.
In an imminent US strike, the supreme leader has handed power to his son and retreated to a secure bunker. So let's take a look at this report.
He's
Now,
terrified.
Despite the internet blackout, two senior officials from
Internet
Iran's
blackout
Ministry
is
of
also
Health
there.
reached out to Time magazine. They shared data that's being reported directly to Khamenei himself. And according to this internal Iranian data, more than 30,000 people are already dead. And
And
here's
these
what
people are not dead by USA or by any other country. This is the government killing their own people.
Protest is happening.
That is very, very strange.
makes this almost incomprehensible. The vast majority of these deaths happened in just 2 days, January 8th and January 9th. To find anything comparable, we have to go back to 1941, when Nazi death squads killed 33,000 Ukrainian Jews at
Oh,
Babi
they're going
Yar
back to
in
the
just
Nazi
2 days.
era.
Oh.
That's the only parallel. A Nazi massacre. That's the company the Islamic Republic now keeps.
Very
but
bad.
despite all this, the United Nations is barely responding. It's been over 2 weeks since this happened, and the UN just held a special meeting 2 days ago. Safe to say, people were pissed. Just take a listen to this story that a human
Living through
rights
a
group
nightmare.
shared at
What
that
is
meeting.
happening?
Mr. President, High Commissioner, distinguished delegates, the people of Iran are living through a nightmare. Allow me to share the story of a family who spent 3 days searching for their son. He had left home to protest in the streets of Tehran, but never returned. In distress, his parents first searched the hospitals where many of the wounded have been abducted and killed. Having failed to find him, they went next to the notorious morgue in Kahrizak.
Oh.
They searched among countless bodies in black plastic bags, mutilated by bullet wounds, unceremoniously dumped on the floor like piles
They were
of
just
garbage.
dumped.
Grieving
my
families
God.
wanting to retrieve the bodies are told to pay exorbitant sums of money for the bullets used to kill their loved ones. Yet others are forced to sign confessions blaming imaginary terrorists for the murder of their children.
Oh my God.
That's
Hope and
very bad.
horror were intertwined as the parents opened the black bags one by one. Their search was not in vain. They found
They
their
found.
son still alive.
Alive?
In a bag.
Miraculously survived severe bullet wounds.
What?
Lying motionless inside the body bag for 3 days, pretending
was
to be
so
dead to
bad.
avoid execution
He's alive and
by a
nobody knows
finishing
it,
shot
but he's
to the
wounded.
head. Just imagine the relief that mother
And also the
father
shock.
must have felt. But for most, there is no such miracle. The search ends in devastating grief. These are the scenes from hell confronting countless Iranians today.
When the scale of this brutality started leaking out, that's exactly when Khamenei went underground. Because what happened wasn't just a crackdown, it was systematic extermination. They were shooting anyone and everyone, and then the security forces were just letting the wounded die, as you guys just heard.
Oh,
they also
no.
then prevented ambulances from reaching the protesters.
That is
Oh
so
my
The
bad.
order to not treat people who came in with injuries, and because of this, people bled out in the streets while the help was deliberately withheld. Now, the situation only gets worse from here, but unfortunately, whenever we start talking about details of what happened, YouTube has a habit of restricting our videos. It just happened to us 2 days ago. And when a video is restricted, less of you guys see it on your home screen, and that means you don't get the news that we created for you guys. That's why, if you can please hit the subscribe button down below, it really does help us out in the algorithm. Now, let's get to the shocking report. This is from inside of an Iranian morgue. Yesterday, we went to collect a body. Inside the morgue, you can clearly hear voices. Several people crying out for help.
Lethal
Then
injections.
they're being given lethal injections.
Oh my God.
They're still killing those who could be saved. The massacre is still ongoing. And that's why people at the United Nations meeting were angry. This was their message. Take a listen.
It's not
Mr.
war,
President,
it's just a
doctors in
genocide.
Iran estimate 20,000 protesters killed and 330,000 injured. These are numbers that defy comprehension. These are crimes against humanity. So today's session is welcome, but let's be honest, it is too little and too late. The Iranian people have a right to know why for over 3 weeks did this council say nothing?
Yes.
We asked the 87 UN rights experts, the world's early warning mechanism, for over 2 weeks, why were you silent? Only on January 13th was there a statement, and out of 87 experts, only 5 of you signed it. Day after day, we pleaded for action. 5 days into the repression, after killings of protesters, I asked Agnes Kalamard, the former UN rapporteur who now heads Amnesty International, why are you silent?
Yeah, what is the point of UN if it takes too much time to just do simple things?
Exactly.
Because it is United Nations, they should collect and they should like go against Iran together. Like it is not just the role of USA to do all the things.
True that.
United Nations should do that thing, and like they should protect the country and its citizens.
Exactly. It's made for that.
January 2020, when the US eliminated IRGC terror chief Qasem Soleimani, she rushed within hours to condemn it. Why no urgency when innocent Iranian
Yes,
protesters
that's
are
the point.
massacred?
Why?
And beyond this room, we ask the media, Hollywood celebrities, campus protesters, those who know how to mobilize world opinion, why are you silent? The answer is uncomfortable but clear. The Iran protest movement shatters a cherished narrative. A people rising against Islamist tyranny does not fit the ideology, and so it is ignored. To all of you, we say
that's
the
why.
cost of your silence was Iranian lives.
Yeah.
It is time to choose. Do everything to protect the people of Iran or your failed worldview. History is watching.
Oh.
We also
Wow.
know that this all came from the top. Iranian officers have now confirmed that Khamenei personally ordered security forces to
crush the protest by any means.
Oh.
necessary. If you guys know your history, you know that those were the exact words that were used by Deng Xiaoping back
Oh.
in 1989. He told his commanders to basically use any means necessary. And guess what? We covered this few days
What
ago.
is
The
this?
person
Killing
who
your
was the
own people.
mastermind behind this crackdown, well, he took inspiration from the crackdown that Deng Xiaoping carried out decades ago. That's why the scale
the
of
power
this
has got to his
crackdown
head.
was so indiscriminate. The security forces shot
They
at
shot at
grandmas,
grandmothers,
kids,
children,
young men, women, fathers,
Pregnant
mothers,
women.
pregnant women, athletes, medics, and artists. Basically
Dreadful.
everyone. They were shooting at anyone they saw. So the question rises, how are they dealing with it now? Well, they're lying, but they're lying badly. They cannot even keep the numbers straight. As you guys heard earlier, a few days ago, the regime accidentally admitted that around 5,000 people died. They didn't say who killed them or who they were, just acknowledged the number. But 2 days later, they started walking back that number.
Now
They were
5,000 to
"No,
3,000.
Only 3,000 people died.
117.
And to be exact, they said 3,100.
Oh, they said the same for COVID.
That specific
For
number is
for
interesting
poisoning.
because
What is
Iran
happening?
has used it before multiple times. In 2022, they claimed that
dumb.
3,117 people died from COVID. Then they also claimed that 3,117 people died
What
from
is-
alcohol
I said those
poisoning.
3,117
And now
people
they're
are the
claiming
problem.
3,117 people died in these terrorist attacks. It's the same number every time. I'm guessing whoever is fabricating these lies has a tell.
He doesn't want to change the number.
It reveals just how hollow their denials are. But the Iranians are learning about the true brutality of the crackdown despite everything the regime is doing. Young Iranians are figuring out a way to get past the internet restrictions that the Iranian regime has implemented.
Only the world
And
can
they're
help
using
them.
VPNs,
Exactly.
they're using
They are pleading for
Starlinks,
help.
foreign SIMs,
Nobody is listening.
any way they can to get the news to the rest of the world and to other Iranians in the country. And that's why we're seeing more and more people speak out against what happened.
Yes.
Here's a cleric speaking out, saying, despite the internet restrictions, the scenes of harrowing and brutal killings of protesters in different provinces are gradually being published. This indicates an organized massacre with further
It
aspects
is very hard
gradually
to,
coming to
you
light.
know,
This
suppress
catastrophe
news in
has
this
created
world.
a deep, irreparable rift between the people of Iran and the ruling establishment. When the clerics start calling it a catastrophe and an irreparable rift, the regime has lost its religious legitimacy, the one thing the whole Islamic regime was built on.
what Iran is doing is incomprehensible, because we don't expect, you know, the country leader to go against the people and just say like, okay, kill anyone that you see, and just because I want to stay in power and they cannot protest against me. This is a very, very wrong way to do it. And like the US is now I am with USA, because I saw a recent video where Trump was saying that we are ready to attack Iran and we might attack Iran whenever we want, and I think so they should do it, because now things are getting too out of control.
Exactly, what Iran is doing is unimaginable. How it can be so brutal with their own people? What is the UN doing? Actually, the big question lies there. The United Nations is so silent, and as we saw, only 5 people signed up out of the 87 people.
And it is very slow process, like they are making things into it, and they just, and after even all of that they're just condemning it. So rather than, you know, just go and attack and do whatever you can do to save Iranian people. So what do you guys think about it? Do let us know in the comment section below. So do like, share, and
And subscribe to the channel.
Bye.
Bye.